Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
We are live, baby, live. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio, NCAA Net Profit. I'm Conor Mack. He's Maxwell Smart. This is Monday, January 31st, Max. I got to say, how are you doing today, my guy? How was your weekend? I know your Saturday was pretty good. We all kind of killed it. It was a really great day. And let me know how you're feeling today. I know you're pumped. I think there's some spots on this card we can take advantage of, but go ahead, rip it.
Yeah, listen, Saturday obviously was a real good day. You know what happened there. When we talk about mid-major gemstones and I come on to the Pub Sports Radio NCAA Net Profit Show on a Saturday, you know that I'm fucking coming with fire. And I brought fire. All right. I brought the fire like Zeus. And unfortunately, that fire got extinguished on Sunday. It was cock soup for most of the day for me. And that was because I tried to get fancy and I got fucked. So I had to live bet the Colorado-Washington State game. And you guys know how I have a heavy distaste for Pac-12 basketball, especially when it is the D-Gen game of the night. And I'm just glad that we're on Monday because you know what Mondays bring? Mondays bring new weeks to threaten and harass Gus with text messages of how I'm going to serve him cock soup. And it's Big Monday, so we got prestigious basketball. We got fucking YMCA basketball. Any kind of basketball you want, we got it for you on this beautiful slate of games for you to cash, serve your bookies cock soup, and of course, enjoy yourself while you're here watching some Pub Sports Radio content with myself and the great Conor Mack. Because let's make sure we put that shit in front of his name. Because that motherfucker, even with his Los Angeles Angel hat, almost called him California, almost called him Anaheim.
Yeah, well,
he is still the great Conor Mack.
Thank you, Max. I appreciate it, my guy. Yeah, you came on. That was great on Saturday. I'm glad you came on. I just love to talk college basketball with you. So you come on Saturday. That was a treat. I hope maybe down the line you could come on more because that was great. By the way, you talked about Big Monday. This is always, I love a great day of basketball. And by the way, the last day of the month here. Turn the page to January. I say we have one big day before we flip to February. And we get rolling. February, then we're March. We're going, baby. We're full. We're rolling. Shout out to the chat. Before I get to your line movement, Max, let's give a shout out. Sorry, I got some in my goddamn eye. It's driving me nuts. Hoots 590. What's up, my man? He's rolling in here, just giving out parlay, everything, just shooting his bets all over the place on here. Wally Walnuts, T Mac, my guy, Puzzler, Rude, Jude up here. Joey Collier. What's up, my man? James Callie, AJN, Rob, John Harmon, Rodney Barton, J. Rowe, what's up? Colton, James Little. Shout out to everyone. Dr. Jekyll, row your boat. Good to see you, my man. Preston Burke. All right, Max, before we get to the games, hit us with the line movement. Everything you saw from last night till right now is time that you saw from sides and totals. Give us the movement here.
Yeah, listen, I think that when we look at the first game on the board, when we look at the main board, we have to look at Western Illinois. That total's gone from 140.5 to 143.5. Very surprising with UMKC involved, who is capable of playing some very ugly under basketball. In the last half an hour, we've definitely seen a little bit of steam towards Iowa. Fives are beginning to pop up from an opener of 3.5. I think that when we look at the Wofford-Mercer game, the one thing that caught my eye was the fact that we've seen a 3-point line move in favor of the under. So I'm seeing as low as 135 on that game. One of the big moves and one of the highly anticipated games of the 7 p.m. Eastern slate is Drexel and UNC Wilmington. Drexel actually opened as a 1-point favorite on the road versus first place long winning streak UNC Wilmington Seahawks team that is now a 2-point favorite, and I expect to take some steam in the next 2 hours. When we look at another game, we definitely have to go down the slate and we have to turn our heads to Wyoming and Colorado State. This is a game that most likely will be on Fox. I'm not sure. Maybe CBS Sports Network. However, we have seen a flip. Wyoming, a 1.5-point favorite on opener, now is a 1.5-point underdog. And Colorado State, are they going to have an answer for Graham Ike? Is Colorado State going to be able to bring some heavy offense on the road, or are they going to be relying on defensive basketball again? Very interesting game. Good cases for both teams. So let's move on. Conor, Summit League basketball. Regularly do we see 160s, but when we see a 163 in the South Dakota State and North Dakota game, and it goes down as low as 158, that's something to take note of. There's some definite middling value on that line right now if you hit the under. When we look at a bigger spot, I think that we have to look at West Virginia and Baylor. We've seen this line go from 136.5 to as high as 140. This is a spot where, listen, Baylor has to score 75 plus in order to cover this spread and get this game over. Can West Virginia do a portion of that? I'm not sure. So we're going to see. That could be the wrong move in my opinion, but we'll talk more about it a little later. I think that another game that we have to take note of is the fact that Weber State has now gone from a 9.5-point opening favorite up as high as 11.5. That is definitely an interesting move. It is making Eastern Washington seem like a really nice, sneaky dog to back on. I think that when we go down the board, we definitely have to stop at this game. New Mexico and SDSU. Have you seen a game for SDSU that opened at 135.5 and went up to as high as 138.5 in a while? I can't really remember. Maybe there was one instance. So very interesting line move with that game. Definitely something to take note of. And the last game on the board, on the main board, Conor, we've seen U-shaped line movement, an opener of 152, down as low as 147.5, back up to as high as 150.5. So very interesting stuff going on in that Portland State game, and it could be fireworks. So we'll see.
Excellent. Always love to break down, Max. Yeah, especially on some of those interesting ones, which you're going to get to, like that San Diego State game that you talked about, the South Dakota State, that total that's dropped now. Maybe could have got a middle. We got to give a shout out, though. I know you were rolling to Tony Cobbs with a $5 dono. Let's effing go. Cupcakes. Love it. Thank you, Tony. Always.
Yeah.
Always pubbing. We appreciate you, Tony, so much. Thank you for the donos. Helps us out. Everything goes back to this channel, to us just keep coming on. And you never know. You just watch this channel. Hopefully we give you as much information and winners, and you can come in here and just be in the chat and win money, Max, as people did on Saturday.
Yeah,
not every day, but it pays to show up. That's all I have to say.
And a shout out to Tony Cobbs, who does some freaking great on video content work also with her college basketball freaking stuff. So it's all around fucking proper. So we appreciate you.
We definitely do. Shout out to Lamont Williams. Good to see you, my man. 8-2 yesterday. Good work. Arthur Meade Jr. Gus, the Canadian groundhog, he said.
Yeah.
Everyone else, Michael Anderson. I think that's most everyone we got. If I haven't hit you up, throw your name in the chat. I want to try to shout everybody out always. Of course, if I miss somebody, don't take it personal. But Max, let's get to your games, my guy. Let's get to them. Let's get to your first one. That Eastern Washington, Weber State, the game you talked about from a 9.5 to 11. High total, obviously, with these two teams, 155. Eastern Washington getting double digits has been pretty good. They haven't played great basketball lately. What do you think in this one?
Yeah, listen, what they have been able to do is get the wins, but they have been able to keep games close. They have been able to play some really decent defense. We're talking about a team that definitely chases you off the 3-point line, but the question is, are they going to be able to withstand what they're going to see from Weber State on the interior? This is a deep offensive team. I think that with Linton Ecclesi, Steel Venters, And then, of course, Ryan Bergenson. These guys can score the basketball. It's a matter of who plays better defense in this game for me. I think that this is a game that definitely is destined for a higher total just because Weber State is going to know and understand that if they don't get to the rim, if they don't get to the free throw line early, they're going to have problems. This is a team that has thrived on not settling for jump shots and getting inside the paint. When you got Kobe McEwen and Jamison Overton, not only do you bring experience and size, you bring some pretty good freaking high major experience from Kobe McEwen. He's the leader on this team like we expected him to be. I expect him to have a big game in this spot. And when you have Zaire Porter and Dylan Jones as guys who can fly under the radar, sort of like the Oakland Grizzlies with Micah Townsend and Trey Parrish. So I think that this is a spot where Weber State definitely gives Eastern Washington all they can handle, but Eastern Washington finds a way to backdoor cover this game.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of points there, Max. I mean, I agree with you a little bit there. Eastern Washington been pretty good on the road too, covering numbers, like you said, and I think they have the offense, to stay within the double digits right there. Alrighty, your next one here, Bethune-Cookman, Alabama and A&M. They're laying 2. This is a low total, right around 123 and a half. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, listen, I think that with Bethune-Cookman, they have the best scores in this game. It's going to be really on Jalen Johnson and Garrett Hicks to be able to do what they did last time out. They have to be able to score. If you try to win a game in the 50s against this group, you're not going to succeed. It's just not going to happen. I think that at the end of the day, Bethune-Cookman is going to have to get off to a good start. Defensively, that's where they have their advantage. Alabama A&M has been definitely struggling more so on the road than at home to get off to a good start. If they can't get past 25, Bethune-Cookman has to have at least a 5-point lead at halftime. I think that this game is lined specifically. I think that is primarily based off their home court advantage. Sorry, couldn't get the words out of my mouth there, but from a statistical perspective, Connor, Bethune-Cookman is the better shooting team. They're the better complete team with Joe French and Marcus Garrett as your 1-2 option. I like that a lot better. I think that being new to the conference also gives them the benefit of a little bit of a surprise. You haven't played against these guys. You don't know their tendencies. And with Bethune-Cookman, if you leave them open for jump shots, usually they hit them, where you can't really say the same about Alabama A&M. I'm on the dog plus 2.5 there, and I'm going to also be getting on the money line too.
I agree a little bit, Max. This is a game I didn't play, but I don't trust Alabama A&M. Even laying the 2.5, like you just talked about, I'd be with you. It could be a struggle with points in this one, and yeah, I just don't. I think Bethune-Cookman has a little better shooters, so I agree with you there in that one. Alrighty, let's get to the third one here. The game you mentioned earlier, Max, is interesting. New Mexico, San Diego State, obviously laying big number 14. They played really well for the most part at home, but you talked about the total moving up 3 points to 138.5. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, listen, one thing that's been working for me is going with these first half overs with this San Diego State team since that Boise game. I think that there's definitely a pressure on them to score the basketball, and I think that they're going to be able to once again. With New Mexico, we know that this defense is a sieve. I think that they can score inside and out against them, and I think that they're going to. When we look at New Mexico, we have to remember that even when they freaking rebound the basketball well, that's not necessarily a go-to. They'll get a ton of open looks. They hit them against San Jose State, but they didn't hit them in any of their previous games. I think that when we look at New Mexico, obviously coaching plays a big factor, but not having a go-to front court player has hurt this team. Maybe Jay Allen Tovar can be that guy. If he can be, it gives a lot more protection to Mashburn and Jaden House and KJ Jenkins. If not, well, then San Diego State's probably going to smash and mash them. It's a bad situational spot for them to be in. I think that the first half over at 64 and a half is a good number to be on. And with New Mexico, they're definitely going to give you extra possessions. It's going to be on SDSU to score off of that. And I think that they're going to tonight at home.
Yeah, one thing that has me a little bit concerned, Max, is the few teams they play that are similar to San Diego State. You know, they lost 65-60 to Fresno, Boise 71-63. If they played UNLV, that game just got over this total, but 85-56, you know, UNLV blew them out. Yeah, and if it keeps going up a little more, I'd look at the full game under here. I'm just too much of maybe a San Diego State under type guy. But maybe if this goes even higher, I might wait till the very end and pull the trigger because I could see a game like that. Because at times they should be able to score in New Mexico, but we know the San Diego State offense is just struggles at times. I mean, Matt Bradley just dribbles the ball around, and they man, it can be rough to watch. So very interesting on that total, I thought today. And yeah, if you like that over, I get you because you're getting a cheap price, especially if you got that earlier. You know, probably last night. You know, the first half. So. That should be very interesting there. All right, let's get to your fourth one here. West Virginia, Baylor. What's going on with Baylor? I mean, obviously we knew they're going to lose some games. Alabama was pumped. That was a good spot for them, but well-needed win. But the defense has kind of slipped a little bit for Baylor, but they're back here at home, but laying a huge number in West Virginia team that's just not played well as of late. Total 139. What do you like here?
Yeah, this is a spot where I'm looking once again at the first half over. I'm not interested in taking the full game. I want to see this offense get back to what it's been doing at home, and that's scoring 40 points in the first half. While I do expect West Virginia to be able to put up some offense, you know, I don't expect Baylor to be able to blow them out and keep West Virginia off the scoreboard. West Virginia has to either figure out what to do scoring the three, or they have to find a way to just not shoot it, because it just has been a real Achilles heel for them. Their ability to get to their free throw line is a major strength, and being able to penetrate that man-to-man defense and get into the middle and force those doubles to come could be exactly what West Virginia needs to open up that three-point shooting game. I think that when you look at this spot at 65 or 65 and a half, what's that right now, is a good number to be backing this first half over. I think that we see 67 to 69 points. So that's the way I'm looking at it, keeping it simple and not allowing any kind of halftime adjustments to impact the scoring tempo.
Okay, yeah, Baylor should bounce back tonight, but I'm not going to lay. It has come down most spots too. There's I see 13 and a half and even some 13s pop up just in the last hour or so. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Just give us a thumbs up. That's all we ask. We only got 40 in here. We already got over 120 something in here. Just give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. That's all we're asking for. We appreciate everyone in here. Nathan Serna, good to see you.
Connor,
Banana Grapes. Yeah.
Connor, I'm asking a lot more. I want to know what your favorite cupcake is. I want to hear about an encounter you had with a local stripper. Like, I want to know things, people. I want to know things about you while we talk college basketball. So keep me laughing in the chat, please.
Yeah. Always entertain us, of course. We need it while we go through. We got to have a little fun while we cap these games for sure and get a laugh. But shout out to everyone. Real Deal Prime, The Grinder. Good to see you, my guy. C. James, Jersey Stewart, what's up? Yeah, hit the like button. All right, Max, to the final game. Drexel, you talked about UNC Wilmington, two teams. We've been on both teams lately. I think you and Wilmington 5 in a row. Drexel got the cover. They folded second half, but they still covered the last 3. They're 1.5 now, 2. This total's 139. Tell me what you like here.
Listen, I think that we're seeing the emergence of Amari Williams. It's finally happening, and that is exciting. You know, this Drexel team is not bare in the cupboard, you know, with James Butler working his way back slowly, and then Cam Winter just being the floor general iron fucking hand for this team. That is what they need. They need Cam Winter to be assertive offensively, to take this offense and put it on his back and be like, listen, guys, I'm going to get you a lot of open shots with my dribble drive penetration. And we've seen it before. This is a talented, experienced floor general now, and he's gonna test tonight. You know, when we've watched this Wilmington team, we have seen this team really go on the back of the energy, the body language, and the production of Jalen Sims. With Jalen Sims doing everything on the floor that you need, when I'm talking about guarding your best perimeter freaking player on the other team, being able to freaking be vocal on the court and get your guys into the right position and freaking hyping them up. That's the kind of leader that you want to back during a win streak. And with him, even in a game where he had 12 points, he was still able to contribute in so many other ways. This is a Wilmington team that, like Boise State, I'm not going to get off of, because when we look at Drexel's still been losing games. And at this number, we're really only asking them to win. Like 1.5 or 2 points, we're asking them to pretty much win. I think that at the end of the day, if this line was 4 or 4.5, then I would be all over Drexel. But Wilmington's winning this game tonight, and they have to prove me wrong for me to freaking submit.
I agree with you. Even as much as I like Drexel this year, they played pretty well on the road. They have, what's the guy's name, Max? I can't spell his name. That might be out for them. 6'6", kind of forward for Drexel. I forget the guy's name. I'm drawing a blank. No. Anyways, I'll get it here. Yeah, is that his name? Yeah, he might be out tonight. So we'll see. I mean, other than that, they're pretty healthy. I like here Steph Brasco. That's what I like. I like the over in this game. At 139, I thought I like it here. I wanted in the 130s. I didn't want to see this in the for this was 142.5. Wilmington's been playing to the over. We know Drexel can score. I think we're getting a little bit of bargain on this total. So I am on this over 139.
Yeah, I was actually looking just now at the team total. I think that's probably a pretty nice spot if you're getting under 66 with Drexel. They're a team that definitely been able to eclipse that mark early and often this year. And like I said, with Cam Winter and so many different weapons that he has, it's not fucking out of this world to think that. And it's not. It's 69.5. I still think that it's good if you're going to get over.
Yeah, Wilmington, great second half team too as well, especially lately. I mean, they were down to Hofstra, the other day, had a huge second half, especially at home. So maybe if you look at it that way, but I think we can get up and over the total. All right, Max, those are yours. Are you all good? You done?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool. Let's get to mine here. My first one is Northern Arizona, Southern Utah. You reading all the stuff in the chat? Yeah. Southern Utah's laying 13. This total's 146. I'll be brief here. I am pretty brief. Give me the over here, Max. I think this total's light. Southern Utah has been an over machine as of late. Every game is in the 80s. I got to look this up. They haven't done well against the number lately. They've lost a bunch, but they haven't been able to cover the number. That's why even against a bad Northern Arizona team sidewise, I don't know about this 13, but they should be able to score at will. Look at these scores: 86-76, 86-74, 84-92, 85-82. And Southern Utah's given the old Ole defense kind of like Northern Arizona lately in these games. So I wanted in the mid 140s. If I saw this, I had to pull the trigger on the over. You could look at Southern Utah team total. I think it's at 80 or 81. They've been just about getting there. But I'm going to take the full game over here, 146. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, absolutely, Connor. This was on one of my lists of potential additional total games where I would sell 4 or 5 points and I'd get on it that way. I think with Southern Utah, with John Knight and Tevion Jones, you do have a really dominating downhill tandem that is not going to settle for jump shots. They can hit jump shots, don't get it twisted, but they're not going to you're not going to find them scared to go against Northern Arizona's trees. And Northern Arizona, while they do have trees and they do have a dangerous scorer in Jalen Cone, they're good to do their part. And that's where I think that you're going to get off. I think that this game definitely can get to 150, 155-ish.
I agree. I just saw that little bit of value in just Southern Utah's been kind of just giving up points. I know Northern Arizona is not very good, but their defense is horrible as well. So, yeah, give me the over there. Let's get to a few more here. Let's get to my next one. Duke, Notre Dame. This was 5.5. The 5.5s are gone, Max. for the most part. They're all 5s now. I got a 5.5. Take the 5. I think they could maybe win outright. The total's 144 here. Notre Dame, I've been going through this team's 10-1 its last 11. It's played really good basketball. They beat Louisville, NC State, Virginia, Clemson, North Carolina, Georgia Tech. I got to take them here. Duke's on a back-to-back road game. I think the first time they've had a back-to-back road game this year. They got by Louisville, but just barely. That was 9. It went to 6.5 Saturday, and they ended up winning by 9. It was kind of close. Duke pulled away late. I think Notre Dame has the shooters here. They have better three-point shooters. I think they're decent from the free throw line. They make their free throws. I think they're like 78%, something like that. Give me Notre Dame here at home, plus 5.5. I even think they could win outright, but give me the points for safety. What do you think here?
Yeah, listen, I think that with both teams' three-point shooting, it's something that maybe we see some points early on. Notre Dame has been at their best when Byron Wesley is having a 20-point game and Cormac Ryan can come off the bench and give you that three-point shooting. I think that if you see that start off and they can score from the perimeter against this Duke defense, they don't have to go inside, then yeah, Notre Dame may be on their way. But I'm only looking at this from a first half total perspective and then live betting it.
Yeah, Notre Dame's played well as of late. I just think it's a little bit of a difficult spot here for Duke just to go now back on another road game, win by 6 or more. So I'll take Notre Dame and the 5.5. All right, let's get to my last one, and then we'll get to the chat. Everyone's questions on the rest of the games. We should be able to get through all of them today. This last game, Max, I just wanted to talk about. It's a highlight game. I have not bet it. I thought it was pretty interesting. Iowa, Penn State. Penn State's, you talked about move from 3.5. It's catching steam to 5. I'm getting a little interested now. Total 139. I looked at this total first early, Max, because Iowa 139. These teams just played, and they beat them 68-51 when I was at home. Now they're going on the road to Penn State, who hasn't played well as of late, but they've been on the road getting their ass smacked around, So they're back at home where they played solid basketball all year. They've had trouble scoring at times. That's why I thought this number was pretty good at 139 here. I want a few more points. I just don't trust Iowa on the road. This is a better team, I think, but I think this could be a tricky spot for them. I had to stay off, but I mean, if I lean over and I lean Penn State. If I had to in this one, what do you like here?
Yeah, this is a spot where I want to sell a couple points. And I want to take the under once again. I think that Penn State knows how to shut down this Iowa team, and it's really about compacting the defense, forcing them to shoot jump shots, which this is just not their best year for. I think that we've seen inconsistent jump shot shooting from Iowa at times, and it's caused them problems on the road. I think that when you look at the Murrays, obviously Keegan Murray, you got to worry about him, and you got to face guard him for all I care. Just deny him the ball. I don't know if a team's going to do that, but that's what I would do. I'm not a coach. I'll tell you this, though, from a gambling perspective, Penn State, if they're going to have a chance to cover this number, they're not going to be they're not going to get into a high offensive game that gets into the 70s. I think that if you want to be backing Iowa now, I think the only way to use them is in a teaser. So, and tease them down to 0. That would be my way.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good look. That way you wouldn't have to deal with it, with them on the road having to win by margin. So I don't blame you for wanting to do that. And, yeah, that total's very interesting because I have a feeling they shoot better at home. That, was way under the first game. I think Penn State shoots better here, but still can it get over the 139? I thought that total was pretty interesting. All right, that's it for me. Everyone load up your questions. Let's do the rest of these games. But first, let's hit our sponsors, our commercials. Let's get to it. Boom. If you're in San Antonio, go to Southtown 101, get drunk, go sing some karaoke, have a burger, get there. Best bar in San Antonio. Can't wait to be there during March. Go to mybookie.ag at promo code Pub Sports. You know the deal. You got to transfer to Bitcoin. Do that. They'll give you $1,000 and match it. And go to Manscaped, the Lawnmower 4.0. Keep everything trimmed up. Get it done. Get the whole kit caboodle. As they always say, we save balls. As I used to always do in my promo. Pub Sports Radio, get there, get the pub rub your meat, get it seasoned, get your brisket, your ribs, all that good shit. Get the pub rub. 2 for $25. Two for $25. Go to pubsportsradio.com. Cop a t-shirt and some swag while you're there. Support Pub Sports Radio. All right, Max, let's get to the questions here from everybody. I think C. James is up here first. Scrambling Alcorn. He likes the under 136.5. What do you think here?
Yeah, listen, I agree. I agree with that spot. I think that this is a tough game for Grambling. You know, you're definitely trying to maintain the pace that you've started the conference season with. And I just think that from a side perspective, you know, this Alcorn team is definitely difficult to beat on their home floor. You know, this is definitely an Alcorn team with Linnell Henry and Otis Walker and company, Justin Thomas, that they can score the basketball a little bit, but they do their best work when they're getting to the free throw line. So while you may be able to chase them off the 3-point line, you may be able to deny them those mid-range jumpers. The key, if you're Grambling, is your defense and your ability to move your feet and not just move your hands. So I want to look at Grambling as a dog here, but the under is where I feel more comfortable putting my money on.
Excellent, excellent. Tony Cobbs here, Max, wants to know, South Dakota State, first half -9. Do you like it? They're laying 17 in this game. You talked about that it's come down, the total. What do you think here?
Yeah, for me in this game, you know, North Dakota seems to be someone that definitely can rise to the occasion, just has not been able to do it lately. Coming off the game where they lost, by like 35 points or something, that must be fresh in their freaking minds right now. And I think that they have to do a better job on the glass. Losing the battle on the glass by 12 rebounds or more, losing the battle on the glass by double-digit rebounds in any game is a death sentence in the Summit League because of how good the shooting is. What has hindered North Dakota and what plays into your hand the most in this spot is the fact that North Dakota's had major struggles getting the offense going early on. If they don't score 30 or more in this first half tonight, South Dakota State is going to win the first half by double digits. So I think you're on the right spot. I think that's what the numbers really tell me. And my betting first half model agrees with it also.
Okay, excellent. Morehead State versus Tennessee Tech is Morehead -5.5, total 137.
Yeah, you want to talk about a teaser spot? This is a teaser spot right here. We got a favorite that's 5.5, 6 points, so you can get it down to 1 or half a point. And when we look at this Morehead situationally, you know, they were in that Murray State game for a while, and then Murray State put them down. You know, it's just like how I put down a 6-pack of cupcakes. I start slow, and I finish strong.
Strong finisher. That's pretty rough, you know, on that like 5th or 6th one, Max.
Hey, listen, bud, you know,
stamina.
I enjoy it the more I eat them. It's like a pizza. You know, slice 3 is good, but slice 5 is divine.
Excellent.
So,
alrighty. Yeah, go ahead.
Getting back to this game. Sorry, started talking about other stuff. Morehead obviously has the offense with Trey Hollowell, with Skylar Potter, and of course with John A. Broom. John A. Broom's got to be a 20-point guy tonight. If he has 10 to 15, that is not going to do it. I think Tennessee Tech is getting a Morehead team at a really bad time, and they're going to get a cold bowl of cock soup. I like the points with the favorite, even on the road. I hate these spots, but I like this one.
Okay, from Jennifer here, SIU Edwardsville, Austin Peay's laying 2.5. I'm not interested in either of these teams at all. I don't want to lay points with Austin P. Total 135.5. What do you like here?
Yeah, listen, this was a spot that was definitely steamed down from the opener. Austin P has been one of the prototypical under teams for me. Decent defensively and very inconsistent offensively. I
Yeah.
think that when you look at them at home, they are definitely worthy of being a favorite, because when I look on the other side with Sean Doss and Shamar Wright, it's just not good enough for me. Austin P has a better point guard than Carlos Paez. I think that they can beat you in a higher scoring game or a lower scoring game, and I can't say the same for SIU. I think that with Courtney Carter, this is a guy that had a really nice game last time out, but when was the last time that he had a game like that? It probably was when they played a non-D1 opponent. I don't think that SIU brings their best tonight, and I think that Austin P's defense is just too much for them. So I like the home favorite, and I like the under in the game.
The under, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I'd be on the under if I were on this total. I agree with you there. RG Martinez wants to know this big one. Colorado State, after getting their ass whooped, giving up 88 to UNLV at home. Do they bounce back here, laying a 1.5 at Wyoming, total 144?
Listen, this is one of the toughest games on the board. It is very, very tough. I think that when you look at it, you definitely want to see a lower scoring game early on. If you're Colorado State has turned themselves into an under team. And if you're liking Colorado State tonight, then you probably like the under, because what we've seen is pretty contrasting. We've seen a defense that can keep you under 30 in the first 20 minutes, but then we've seen an offense that can score close to freaking 50 in the second half. David Roddy is going to have to lead this team offensively. This team is going to have to be able to get to the free throw line and keep Wyoming off. With Graham Ike, I don't know how they're going to be able to stop him unless they bring double teams from the weak side and really try to strip him of the ball before he's able to go up. But he's not a 1-2 dribble guy. He's a guy that gets the ball and goes up with it. So that could be easier said than done. I think that from an offensive perspective, Hunter Maldonado is going to have an advantage, because who is going to be on him, and who's going to take care of that? Maybe John Tonji. That's definitely an option, but Isaiah Stevens isn't going to be able to. So there's a ton of contrasting matchups in this game personnel-wise. And then from a statistic perspective, Wyoming can win in a rock fight. We've seen that happen. But Wyoming can outscore Colorado State right now, and that's where I worry. I'm taking the first half under in this game, and then I'm live betting it from there.
Yeah, you talked about how difficult this one was for me, Max. I'm just going to stay off in the end. Yeah, maybe bet this live if I'm watching it later on tonight, but I just don't see a ton of value from jump here. All right, how about this one, Max? Florida A&M, Alabama State. They're laying 2 here, I believe, and forgot the total, 134.5.
Yeah, this is a game that definitely is a little emotional for me, because I was arguing with someone that I respect immensely, and he seems to disagree with me. I tried to advise him, but this Florida A&M team is finally hitting their stride right now. They've done a fantastic job of opening up the conference season, albeit with some of the weaker opponents. MJ Randolph is the key for this team. He's the key every time that they go out onto the floor. But I do think that with DJ Jones and Cameron Reeves and Bryce Morgaine, these guys have played with him for multiple seasons. It's not like they don't know how to freaking function as a team. They're going to have to show that on the road. That means that getting off to a good defensive start against this Hornet team, who's going to be missing Gerald Liddell, that puts a lot more pressure on guys like Jordan O'Neal and Kenny Strawbridge and Isaiah Range. I think that this is a spot that Florida A&M goes in, and I think that they get the outright win. I think that this line is based off home court, and while I like Mo Williams and Alabama State, I like them better as a 30-point underdog in non-conference play, not this type of favorite against this Rattler team.
For sure. All right, Max, great breakdown. I agree with you a little bit in that game. I have not bet it. How about this one? Colgate laying 8.5 against Lafayette. They want to know the total. Obviously, this has moved up to 139.5, even some 140s. Do you still think it can go over from Bill McDonald?
Well, I'm not even sure that it can go over. I think that when I look at this game, Lafayette is still a very good
Yeah.
defensive team and a very inconsistent offensive team. But what we know about Colgate right now, take away the Boston University game, but they played 4 non-contenders, and all those non-contenders aside from Navy, they scored freaking under 60 points. So I think we see Colgate's defense come back to what we saw the previous 4 games, and I think Colgate may end up smacking the shit out of Lafayette. I know it's square to go with the favorite like this, so I'm spicing up. I told my Patreon guys earlier today, I'm like, let's get on some Colgate. Let's get on the -10.5. Let's take it at +120. Let's expect that Colgate form to come back. As long as guys like Jack Ferguson aren't missing actual layups at the rim, like standing layups, not jumping layups, like literally you're so close to the rim, all you got to do is put your arm up, and the ball will go off the backboard and in. They can avoid missing those kind of shots. They're gonna win and cover tonight. And let's gamble. Let's go with the fucking additional spread. I love plus price.
Yeah, I would need more with Lafayette. There's just the trust value with this team. You talked about they can play some defense, but they can't score. Yeah, I mean, I have to lay with Colgate, but I'm not making a bet on that game. Let's get to the next one here, Max. People want to know, I thought this game was pretty interesting. Norfolk laying 3, basically everywhere. Total 136.5 against UNC Central. What do you think in this one? I thought this game was pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is a real fucking test for Norfolk because they got to go up against a very difficult and talented team that can go starter heavy, or they can go to their bench and throw out different options at you. When you look at that bench, there are good freaking mid-major transfers on it, but I look at guys like Chris Monroe and Randy Miller Jr. and Dontavius King as the freaking ironclad of this team. If they can freaking get going, then they're going to give Norfolk a problem. They're physical. They could definitely guard you, chase you off the 3-point line, but let's not forget this Norfolk State team is built for March. The key for Norfolk State obviously is their guard production, but outside of that, it's Chris Bankston. Chris Bankston on the inside, he's a force. No one can really stop him in this conference except himself and his sometimes lack of discipline. But when you look at this Norfolk team from an overall perspective and the defense that they bring in all 3 levels, they do a very good job. And if they can keep teams in the non-conference and the conference play to under 38% from the field as a whole on a game-to-game basis, that's the type of defense that I take note of. And that's why I was willing to back Norfolk when they were a 2.5-point favorite. I like them at 3. I think that they win this game by 6 or more. So while North Carolina Central may give them a challenge for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, I do think that at crunch time, we do see the best of Joe Bryant. We see the best of Banks when he's in the game. And I think that Jalen Hawkins, this is a game that's made for him to score. Guards that he can freaking outdo with his quickness and athleticism. And he's a blazer to the freaking rim. I want to see him have a big game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if they play up to that, they can. I thought it was so interesting because I've been, like you, Max, liking this Norfolk team, and they've been covering numbers. This is just a difficult spot, here tonight. That's what I wanted to get your opinion. That's what Mills is asking here. So, because I lean the dog a little bit. That's why, for me, it's just to stay off because I know I've been on Norfolk a lot lately. It'll be a test for them, but they could cover easily. That's why I like that one so much. Okay, next one, Max. Wofford laying 4.5 at Mercer. Mercer just doesn't look the same the last few games. Total here once dropped, like you talked about in the line movement earlier, to 135.5. What do you like here?
Yeah, this is a pass for me. This is all you, Connor.
Yeah, I do not want to lay 4.5 with Wofford. Mercer just hasn't played well here at home. Obviously, you've missed the boat on the under. I wouldn't take it now. I still think there's a tad bit of value. But right away at 138, I leaned under. I didn't bet it, so I'm off of it as well. All right, let's get to the next ones here. Okay, Grambling, we went over that one, right? Or did we not, Max?
Yeah, we did.
Yep, we did. Okay, Norfolk. Let's get to TCU, Oklahoma. Let's talk this big one here. Oklahoma's laying 6, some 5.5s out there. This total's 127.5. TCU playing good basketball other than that blowout to Texas. They bounced back on Saturday. Tough trip to Oklahoma there, though. Can they cover this number? Interesting spot. What do you like here?
Yeah, this is a spot that I don't really have anything on. I do not really like the matchup. I don't like the number. I think that with Oklahoma's free throw shooting, that could be the difference that put them over. And just based off a track record perspective, the way I'd have to go is with TCU. But at 6, it's just too short for me. I'd rather use them in a teaser.
It's just that perfect number, like you said, Max. That's why I'm off it. Like, if I had a few more with TCU, right after a few possessions, like 8, 8.5, I'd really love it. Could they cover? Yeah. And could Oklahoma win by 10? Sure. I just don't have a good feel for either side, so I just don't think there's a ton of value. Oklahoma does play better at home, but can they win by number here? I'm not so sure. All right, let's get to this one, Max. I think it's pretty interesting. Pacific beat BYU at home. Both these teams beat BYU, I believe. I don't know, Santa Clara lost by 1. They're laying a huge number here, 12. Mostly are 12.5. This totals 144.5, 145. What do you like, Pacific, Santa Clara?
Yeah, I like Pacific to fall on their face tonight. That's been their freaking MO, have a big, nice performance at home.
Go on the road.
Fail the next game.
Yeah.
I think that's just what it is. I was on Pacific plus the 14. I didn't know that they could actually win the game. And that makes me like Santa Clara that much more because you got a reverse situational play right here. You have a very angry Santa Clara team that freaking basically threw away the game against San Francisco. And then you have the fact that this is just a very potent offensive team that's fully healthy right now. Being healthy makes a big difference because it allows Jalen Williams to have that many more weapons on the floor for a defense to have to narrow in on. Jalen Williams is a difference maker here, with his 3-point shooting, his dribble drive penetration. He can score on his own and he can get his guys involved. I think that this is a spot where Santa Clara, I want to back them first half, see how the game actually unfolds, but no way I'm touching Pacific in this spot.
Yeah, but I don't want to lay 12.5 with Santa Clara. So
yeah, but you're getting a better number than you would have last night. It was at 14.
Yeah, I saw 13.5. I didn't see a 14. You must have jumped on it real quick. But yeah, I know. I don't like it. I'm off it. How about this one? Northern Colorado, Portland State. Northern Colorado, 3-point favorite basically everywhere. Total right at 149, 149.5. What do you like here?
Yeah, this is a big old pass to me. I'm live betting this game. I ain't messing with it, especially with all that U-shaped line movement overnight.
Okay. Yeah, I want nothing to do. Portland State's played a little bit better. I don't even want to take them here as a dog at home tonight. I'm not going to mess with the total either. Let's go right down the line. The rest, Max, on the extra board. Holy Cross, Boston University. They're laying 16, some 15.5, total 135.5. What do you like here?
Yeah, listen, Connor, some people call me Max. Some people call me freaking Jerry. Some people call me the Patriot League governor. And the Patriot League governor says, back Holy Cross, baby. Back Holy Cross. Boston, you should win this game, no doubt. But do they have the freaking a killer instinct right now, coming off such a really nice win against Colgate? Tail of freaking what half? No half. So I think that BU being able to go wire to wire was very impressive. I think that they're due for a letdown. This team is definitely a good team. They're a healthy team. They're a complete team right now, but they're not a team that I'm going to be laying 15.5 or 16 points with.
Well, how about this team, Max? The next one. Albany, Vermont. Vermont's laying 16 here. They've been kicking every team's ass lately. This total I thought was a little light here at 131. Obviously, Albany doesn't score a ton. But what do you like here?
Hey, listen, Albany can put up points if you force them to. And we've seen
you're right.
games against Vermont where games have gone to the 140s. I think that Albany's going to have to do that tonight, bud. Because we know that with guys like Aaron Deloney able to come off the bench for Vermont, to go along with this newfound production from Finn Sullivan, which obviously hasn't been there the last couple, but there's a lot of weapons on this team. They're shooting the basketball from the 3-point line 35%. That is just something I was not expecting. I thought 3-point shooting would be the Achilles heel of this offense. So yeah, it's a tough spot. It's even tougher number. I think that Vermont first half would be the way that I'd play it just to get going, but live betting is the way I'd rather back this game.
Yeah, I mean, Vermont's been scoring 75, 80 regularly. Can Albany just get 60 and more at 60, like you said? I think this game could get over. I think it's a little light.
Sounds like a game Dr. Mandy would be taking her top off for. Definitely.
I like the over here a little bit. I think it's too light. Let's get to this one, Max. I thought it was a good game that you'd like to talk about. Liberty steamed up. They're laying 6.5 now. Kennesaw State, 2 home losses for Kennesaw. Man, if this hits 7, I want to back them. What do you like? You like Liberty laying the points on the road? You like Kennesaw? And what about the total? It's at 136.5.
I actually only like the under in the game. I want Liberty to win. They're my team. But we know what happens when I talk about and give out picks from my teams on the show. They end up not covering. So I'm going to silently move on. But if Liberty doesn't win, I'm going to be punching myself in the stomach.
Yeah, I lean the dog here. If this hits 7, maybe I might pull the trigger. Kennesaw's just looked so bad their last 2. Damn. All right, Hartford, Maine. Hartford's laying 6 here. Another team on the road. Maine's not very good. We got a low total here, 133.5. What do you like? It's already come down, 3 points, 3 or 4 points, the total?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm looking at this spot and I'm seeing take the freaking fade the line movement, fade the line movement. If Maine has a 3-point shot tonight, like we've seen them, they are definitely someone to be freaking worried about for at least 20 minutes. And when I look at that Maine team, has a lot of Canadians and they have Stephen Ingo back. And once he works his way back up to being able to play that 25, 30 minutes, Maine could be even more freaking valued as a dog. Hartford is going to have to bring their best game, and the way that Hartford is going to be able to win this game comfortably is by hitting 12, 13 threes. I hope that this game fucking flies over and there's some good live betting value on the over.
Excellent. How about this? Morgan State against Eastern Shore. Eastern Shore's laying 1.5, 2 at some spots, total 139.5.
Yeah, listen, I think that with Maryland Eastern Shore, Dawn London is really going to make or break how this team goes. At home, definitely they should be better, more competitive, but in conference, it just hasn't worked out. Morgan State, the difference for them tonight is they got Malik Miller back, 15-5 last time out, 33 minutes or something off the bench. I think that with him and Dorian Ware, it's bound to happen. They're bound to have a huge game combined. We saw a ton of them the last 2 years. I think that tonight's the night we see it again. Everything is pointing towards Maryland Eastern Shore in this game, but I'm bucking the trend and I'm going with Morgan State. And if not, I'll just live bet my way onto Maryland Eastern Shore for a profit.
Excellent. All right. How about this game? I took a look at this one a lot, Max. I think the dog could bark maybe a little bit here. Howard at South Carolina State. Howard's laying 7. His total's 150, 151. What do you like here?
Listen, with this Howard team, it's can you keep them down? If South Carolina State can bring that defense that they brought last time out against Norfolk, they were only down 2 at halftime in a 58-point scoring first half. Well, they got blasted the fuck out in the second. I think that This is an opportunity where if they can stop Elijah Hawkins, they can stop Steven Settle, then they can have an opportunity. But if they're going to let one of these guys like Kyle Foster go off for 27 points, that is not going to be copacetic. I think that you have a very good defensive South Carolina State team or improved one. It's a matter of TJ Matlock and company being able to give you that offense from the backcourt. I think that they do so enough at home, and I do think that even if they don't win, they find a way to stay within the number because let's face it, Howard has been asinine at fucking covering these numbers. And they remind me of a fucking French guy I know, named Louis Pepe. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the dog could be live here in this game. I was looking at it a lot. I think we only got one left. We not talk Southern against Jackson State, I believe. They're
We got
laying two.
Two left.
Okay, total 131.
Yeah, listen, I think that with Southern, coming off a bad loss against Alcorn where the offense just wasn't going, you got to be worried that they go into Jackson State and fuck them right in their goddamn mouth. We've seen this team be very competitive against much more prestigious, high-quality programs, and I just think that we're going to see a rebound performance. I like PJ Beard and Jaden Sadler. I like the fact that Tyrone Lyons is really the number one scoring option. And I think that with how deep and how many D1 transfers this team has, Pepe Lupe would be fucking happy about this spot. I think that I would have liked to get it for us at the opener when this game was a pick'em, but keep in mind now on some of your offshore books, at least for me, there are lines for first halves and full games already out. So you can never be too early to the game on college basketball games, but I think Southern finds a rebound and wins this game by 5 or more.
All right, Big Show, what's the last one? Grambling? Oh, Western Illinois. Okay, we did the Grambling. I forgot. Go ahead, Max. Take it away.
Yeah, listen, I think that when we look at this UMKC game, not having Josiah Alec is the biggest problem for UMKC. They definitely have to bring their best play on the road, and they've been a solid program. But being able to have that 8-point lead at halftime last game out against Omaha, and then Omaha literally thundering back, throwing away all the freaking successes they had defensively, has got to be a big issue for this team. When you have to rely on Evan Gilliard to freaking score and facilitate this offense, when they're not getting consistent production from freaking Marvin Nesbitt and Arkel Lamar, that's a problem. I don't like what they have going on the bench. I think that this is a spot where Western Illinois is going to win the game, but do I want to lay this type of number with Western Illinois when I could have got 5 earlier? No. Western Illinois is a team that is really Jekyll and Hyde. They're really reliant on guys like Trent Master and Will Carius leading the way for them. And if those guys don't have good offensive games, this is going to be an ass clencher. Yep. And I'm trying not to ass clench.
Yes, ass clenching, I'm staying away from, because you're right, Max. They don't have the defense. If they're hitting shots and raining, they can cover this number. But if they're not, this defense is not good enough to cover a number like this. So the ass will be clenched. So yeah, I'm off of that one for sure. All right, Max, we ripped through them all on this Monday. Great work as always. Killed it, my guy. Let's get to it. Give out your bet for the night. Give a shout out to the chat. Let me shout them out real quick before you give one of your great speeches at the end. MMA Locker Room, Sammy, Jennifer, Boston Nick, Nikki Two Tanks, Real Deal Prime, The Grinder, Arthur Mead Jr., Eric Jones, James S., Tony Cobbs with a dono earlier. We appreciate the dono. Abel Alvarez, North Ender, East Woodmore. Good to see you. Joey Collier, everyone in here, Steph, everyone in here. Shout out to you guys. About Buck, good to see you. Shout out to everyone. We appreciate it. Just hit the thumbs up. That's all we asked. And we got over 100. We already over 100, Max. Good work. 110. That's good news. I love it. All right, bro. Give a shout out to the chat, a word, your best bet. I'll give mine. We'll get out of here.
All right, chat. Well, listen. Look out for freaking French people with long mustaches and dress shoes on. They are not safe to be around. This is known. This is the public service announcement of the day. And guess what, guys? I got a teaser for us. I'm teasing. Sort of like Dr. Mandy when she teases her wonderful bosoms in my face, but I can't suck on them. We're going to go with Morehead State in the ultimate teaser spot. I got to take them at 1 because my book has them at 6. But I'm taking a 5-point teaser. It's going to be 2 teams. Morehead State's going to be the first one. Situational rebound. All we're asking you to do is win by 2, you SOBs. Give it to John A. Broom. Give it to Trey Hollowell. Give it to Skylar Potter all day, every day. And, of course, then we look at the hottest team or one of the hottest teams on this slate in college basketball. The UNC Wilmington freaking basketball team is on my board. I want to tease them down because let's say Drexel has the game of their freaking life. I have at least 3 points to protect me. So we're going to take UNC Wilmington +3, Morehead State -1, 5-point teaser. Let's fuck with our eyes open and let's support local strippers.
I like it, Max. I think it's going to hit, my guy. I approve. Here's mine, Northern Arizona, Southern Utah. You could look at their team total to get over, but I'm taking the full game, over 146. We get up and over. Hey, give me Notre Dame. I took 5.5. 5's enough here. Duke on back-to-back games. If Duke comes out and beats me, fuck it. I got to take the points here. Notre Dame, 10-1, their last 11 games. Give me them at home. And my last one, because I already bet it, Max. It was one of your games you talked about, Wilmington. I'm on the over. Give me Drexel, Wilmington, over 139. Those are my 3. Let's get it. Let's get out of here.
I like it.
I love it, brother. Another Monday, another showdown. Let's get out of here. He's a great Maxwell Sport. I'm Conor Mac. We're out of here. Whitney Plummer!